redefine your relationship with failure. Because I can look back on my journey and point to 5 times, at least 5 times, where if I hadn't failed, I wouldn't have learned something essential. If you can separate yourself from this autopilot operating system, you unlock your business. You unlock your ability to enjoy yourself. Because you can build anything you want to build in your life.
What's up, fitness fans? Welcome back to the Future of Fitness podcast. I'm your host, Eric Malzone, and this is episode number 47. And I talked to Julian Rosen. So he is the CEO and founder of the Fearless Life Project. And essentially what he does is life coaching, not to categorize him too much, but he really helps people in getting what he calls an unbreakable mindset and how that takes place in your fitness, your career, your life overall. It's really powerful stuff. And he's just an all-around great guy. I mean, you'll find that his energy is very contagious. I do. In fact, I talk to him probably once a week now since the recording of the episode. So before more on him, let's do a couple things. Number one, if you are a fitness professional and you're listening to this, I want you to consider joining the Modern Fitness Pro closed Facebook group. So obviously, if you're in the industry and you're looking to stay on top of everything that's going on, whether it be digital marketing to science and technology to information from the experts in the industry, this is the one place. This is the one place you want to go and be part of. So it's by application only. If you apply and you're accepted, you'll be part of a group of 2,000 fitness professionals from all over the world. So go check it out. Let me know if you have questions. Number two, this is hush hush. I haven't formally announced it yet, but we are starting a mastermind group for high-level thinkers within the fitness industry. So if that sounds like something that interests you, if you're looking at taking your game to the next level and then next level above that, then this could be the one for you. So to get a hold of me, it's eric@fitnessmarketingalliance.com. Put in the subject line mastermind, and I'll get back to you ASAP with more details. So let's get back to Julian. So Julian's taken that journey from being a trainer athlete in a gym to an online coach into the next evolution of realizing that fitness is everything. It's not just what movements you do in the gym, but it's your mindset and the overall picture of being a human being and what that means. And it's really powerful stuff. He's a very, very energetic guy. This whole episode is better than a cup of coffee. So take a listen, enjoy it. This is episode number 47, Julian Rosen of the Fearless Life Project. Hey, fitness fans, welcome back to the Future of Fitness podcast. I'm your host, Eric Malzone, and today I have a very exciting and energetic guest. His name is Julian Rosen, and he is the founder of the Fearless Life Project. Julian, welcome to the show.
Awesome to be here, Eric. What is up, everybody? Hope you're killing it today.
Awesome. So you have a lot to say, right? I think you have a lot of very valuable things to say.
Yeah.
It's not just quantity; it's quality. Especially for today's modern fitness professional, people who are doing things online and trying to push forward as an entrepreneur, as a business person, and what the realities thereof, not just, the challenges of marketing and finding clients and retention, but the mental game that we go through every single day, if not minute, if not second, ever going through. So Julian, please tell people kind of your journey, right? From director of a club to online fitness pro to where you are now.
Yeah. So I started off where I'm sure many of you have. I was just a personal trainer. I also, got my CSCS and started working with some athletes, and that was exciting for me, and worked my way up. I was working at for one of the Under Armour performance centers, and they have a pretty awesome training system for clients and athletes. And I ended up being the director of fitness. I was, onboarding and growing teams of trainers, helping them build their book, helping them refine their skills and their message so they could really attract the right clients. And then basically wanted to start reaching more people and infusing my message and my brand into something. So I started an online, side hustle, so to speak. And then, man, the more that grew, I just got addicted to it. And eventually I grew it so big, so quickly that I approached my, the man I was working for, and I was like, hey, with all due respect, I love it here, but it's time for me to do this. And really it grew. It not only replaced the income I was making from my salary and commission I was making from training, but it well surpassed that. And, I was telling you this, I was actually for all you guys listening, my fiance is a travel nurse. And so we were living all over the world. We were living in Hawaii at the time. And on paper, I was making great money. Loved my fiance, was living in freaking Hawaii. And I just felt weird inside. I felt bad inside. And I realized I got into the fitness game to change lives, to transform lives. And you can call it cheesy or cliche. I don't give a shit. Like, that's why I did it. And then I realized that the fitness coaching itself wasn't enough. It was a great platform to spark change, but it was leaving something to be desired for me fulfillment wise. And my gut was telling me. So that's when I pivoted real hard, started the Fearless Life Project, which is and it still incorporates fitness, because fitness for me is always going to be this important thing. But really at this point, I help business owners and entrepreneurs really develop the mindset they need to navigate the unknown terrain of growth, of transformation, of evolution as a business owner, as a brand. Because, man, there's stuff they don't tell you when you get into it, as I'm sure you know, and you are faced with doubt every day. Every day you're faced with doubt. You are faced with that, oh shit, what if this doesn't work feeling? What if my message doesn't resonate feeling? There's tons of doubt swirling there. And so I help business owners, entrepreneurs master their relationship with stress, with anxiety, so they can retain that clarity and connection to their artistic or creative vision that got them started in the first place. Because when you can act in accordance to that every day, you're going to grow. You are going to explode 100%. So right now, yeah, if you're running a physical location, or if you're doing something online as a side hustle, or if you're thinking about taking everything online, there's certain mindset shifts that it doesn't matter what avenue you're in, the same mental game is always going to apply. And I think you'll agree with me on there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can resonate with so much of what you say. And first of all, when I owned a CrossFit affiliate for Santa Barbara, it was successful. I had I still have a beautiful wife. I was living in Santa Barbara, and by all means, everyone looked at my life. They're like, dude, it's
on paper,
gold.
Yeah.
Like, it's gold. Why would you ever change it? But something deep, inside me was like, this isn't it. This isn't where, this is a chapter chapter in my life, but it's
and you'll know, and it will, the more you bury it down, it will come back with a vengeance and rock your world. So yeah, I encourage everyone as scary as it is, once they get that hankering in their heart and soul, in your gut, intuition, whatever, implement as quickly as possible. Act on it as quickly as possible, because there is a seed getting ready. It just wants to freaking flourish into a forest of abundance and amazingness. But yeah, you gotta act. You can't sit on that.
Yeah. So let's kind of put this into an avatar. Let's think about this. So, if I'm Susie Fit Pro and I'm listening and I'm starting my business, right? Either I'm opening a gym, or I'm starting an online nutrition program, or maybe I just want to start developing content, and these voices pop in. They're like, you're not qualified. You're an imposter, right?
Yeah.
What happens? You're going to be wasting your time. How embarrassed are you going to be if a year from now this doesn't work? How do you start walking Susie through the process of, without giving away your secret sauce, but how do you start walking through the process of more confidence, or just dealing with the emotions and thoughts?
Yeah. So right away, I would ask Susie, say, looking forward, there's all these what ifs and potential scary things. And you could even fall on your face. But what would it cost you if you did nothing? What would your life be like if you just kept enduring what you're doing and not acting on what you truly want? Like, what's that look like? And a lot of people, that fire burns so hot that they will run forward. Also, I will always tell them that this imposter syndrome thing, like, dude, you look at some of these heavy hitters. I was actually talking to a client the other day, and she works with some huge clients. Have you ever heard of Oracle? It's like a cloud database. Oh, yeah. So I don't want to name names, but somebody high up in that organization confided in her, was like, I still have this imposter syndrome. Like, I still give presentations and think, who am I? And this generates billions of dollars of revenue. This guy is out there with that little seed of doubt in his head. So I would say, Susie, that just means you're human. That just means that's actually a good thing, because that means you're going into the unknown. You're going into uncharted waters. Because if you were strolling forward and it didn't seem scary, it didn't seem hard, there was no doubt, A, you probably wouldn't be expanding yourself and setting yourself up for massive success. And B, if it was clearly plotted out and you knew what to expect to the point where there was no doubt, on the other end of that journey, there's probably 1,000 other people already there, because the journey has been walked 1,000 times. So I would say you're not alone in thinking it. And okay, yeah, it's scary going forward, but what awaits you behind? And is that pain greater than the slight discomfort of growth?
Yeah, I love it. My business partner and I, Doug Holt, we have this thing, we call it the rocker chair test, where we say, okay, if you're looking at this moment in time, right?
Yeah.
And you're sitting and you're 90 years old, you're sitting in your rocker chair, are you going to wish you did this, or you wish you didn't? And most of the time, non-action is just the thing that you're never going to look back and say, oh, I'm so glad I did nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just want to tell your listeners this: redefine your relationship with failure. Because I can look back on my journey and point to 5 times, at least 5 times, where if I hadn't failed, I wouldn't have learned something essential. Like, without that failure, I'd actually be a failure, if that makes sense. So like, don't live your life avoiding failure. Just know that this journey will provide you with the teachers you need, whether it's a random video on your Facebook feed or falling on your face and learning something. Like, once you embrace this mindset that everything is happening for you, it becomes a game almost. Like yes, there's still risk. Yes, there's still hard work, but it takes on this playful, like, okay, what's it going to be like today? Where's it going to come from today? How am I going to grow today? And so, yeah, change your relationship with failure right now. And I always say, like, think about it and implement it. So like, I'm holding up my notebook right now. Like, not only change your relationship with it, but right now, write down 5 times you failed in your life and how it actually benefits you today, or it benefited you at some point. Like, rewrite that story in your head, because once you flip the script on failure, it's like you take the parking brake off and you can finally like just freaking speed down the track. It's amazing.
Oh, I love it. So let's get raw here a little bit. Like, what are some of the things that go through your head on a daily basis? I mean, you produce a lot of content. I see you're on Facebook all the time, doing a great job, by the way. What are some of the things that go through your head, and how is that translated into coaching life? Yeah.
So it's funny, like all the stuff that I was trying to run away from at the beginning of the journey, it doesn't go away. Like, it's not like, oh, once I double my income, doubt's going to go away or fear is going to go away. Like, those are, not to get too neuroscience-y on your crew, but like, those are deep-seated survival mechanisms that date back to the caveman days that you can't really get rid of. You can just change your relationship with them. But imposter syndrome, like, I'll be thinking about, what am I going to do my Facebook Live about today or this week? And I'll immediately, the voice will be like, no one wants to hear that. Or somebody's already said that better than you said it. Or what if no one listens, right? Or what if someone listens and leaves a bad comment? Or, you know what I mean? And like, so the doubt is there. Almost, it almost like greets me every morning. And I actually have a board, like a calendar in my room, and like, I keep my phone right under it. So when I wake up, I walk over and I have to look at this calendar and I write myself a question, and sometimes it changes, but like, it just makes me make a choice. And right now it says, are you treating today as an opportunity or an obligation? Because if you think of it as an obligation, your energy is going to match that. So I always, like, I choose. I'm like, I'm going to get up and this is going to be an opportunity, or do I want to hit the snooze button? If I do, like, I have to admit then that today's an obligation. And it's like, once you put the ball in your court, I haven't written obligation once. I've gotten my ass out of bed. So just know, like, it's human nature to avoid transformation. It's human nature to avoid growth. It's human nature to avoid the potential for social rejection. These, like I said, I nerd out on the brain science of transformation and fear, but these are all just things that every single human being deals with. It's just like flexing any muscle. The more you take action in spite of these feelings or voices, the stronger you get and the quieter the voices get. They never go away unless you're a sociopath. There's some people out there that don't hear it at all. But yeah, it's a muscle, and it's like the more you flex it, boom, it almost becomes automatic to take that action in the face of the fear. But same thing, man, that muscle will atrophy. Like the more you sink back, the more you let your circumstances dictate what you're doing, man, that, you know, you go and pick up that weight and you're like, oh shit, this is heavy. So it's the momentum game. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like that, man. There was back when I had a home office, because I don't really have one now, but on my whiteboard, it would say, God, I can't remember the exact quote. I should have it memorized, but it was essentially, it's not what you have to do, it's what you get to do today.
Yeah. Oh,
right? 100%, that's the same. It's the same premise. And I find it in the neuro stuff too, is we can get into that, man. I love it because really, we have this mechanism within us that we fear rejection due to, back in the day, it was our tribe. If we get rejected from a tribe, you literally die.
You're dead.
Right? You have no food, you have no shelter, you have nothing. It's still so ingrained. And when I talk to people who have this, you know, imposter syndrome or worried about what people will think of failure, it's telling me like, dude, you know, no one's thinking about you right now. Like you may think people are thinking about you, but they're not. They're too consumed with their own shit, right? They just, you're not on their radar at all. So don't worry about it, because nowadays we don't have to worry about the whole tribal thing. Like we can live sufficiently on our own just fine, right? You can.
I'm like, if that person thinks, if that person thinks you're stupid, you can still go to Chipotle and get a burrito. Like there's no, the correlation doesn't exist anymore in reality, but our deep-seated survival mechanisms still have that. So it's like, the reason you're scared of rejection is because part of your brain thinks you'll die, and it's that real. And I was telling you this before we hopped on the call. It's like, yes, that's a belief in your head right now. But just like you believed in Santa Claus, right? The more you disprove it, and I apologize if I'm rocking anyone's world about Santa Claus right now. I know there's some people that are still holding on to that, but yeah, the more you disprove a belief, the more BS it becomes, right? So for me, I used to be afraid of filming content in the gym when people were around. I thought, like, I just was afraid. I don't know why. And the first time I did it, felt super awkward and scary. The second time I did it, still kind of awkward, still kind of scary. The third or fourth time, I was like, I'm totally fine every time I do one of these videos. Like nothing is actually happening to me. There's no actual threat.
Yeah.
And my brain kind of backed off, and I was like, oh, you're totally cool. So it's like, it's kind of sometimes, like, I encourage every single one of my clients to, like, as crazy as it sounds, like, you got to create a little space between you and your mind. Your mind is this analytical survival tool. And when used properly, it has these great problem solving and idea creation skills. But like, dude, if the banter is ongoing and you're listening to it and you're letting your thoughts and emotions dictate your actions, you may get where you're going, but it's going to be a lot harder. And your life's going to suck a lot more, and it's going to take a lot longer. Whereas if you know, and this is basically mindfulness, but like, if you can acknowledge that you're having these thoughts without becoming these thoughts, or if you can acknowledge that you're feeling a certain way, but acting in accordance with your goals and your vision, that's where every single self-help book boils down to that. It's like, here's your vision. It may not always feel good. The circumstance, like, yes, you may be a single mom, and you may only have X amount of hours to do this in a week. Like, but the second that vision becomes stronger than your circumstances and your actions become stronger than your circumstances, you unlock yourself. You really do. And, oh man, hold on. I had something awesome. I was telling someone, oh yeah. So just back to, like, I read, it was that Tommy Baker podcast with the Scottish guy.
The Scottish guy, yeah.
And basically he said some version of this, but he's like, who you are is actually found in what you do.
Yeah.
Nothing else matters. So if I sit around all day and I talk about, man, I love animal rights and I hate animal cruelty and I think all shelter dogs should be adopted, this, and this. And then if you look at my weekly habits and I don't volunteer, I don't advocate, I don't donate, all that feeling and talking doesn't mean shit, and it doesn't do anything, right? So like, the second your actions are in alignment with that vision, it will happen. It will happen. Period.
Yeah. It's beautiful. And, you know, I totally agree with that. You see so many social media warriors out there, right?
Oh yeah.
You're protesting all this stuff, right? Like, I'm not going to get too much, but then if you look at what are you doing at a granular level on, you know, how are you actually fighting for this cause that you're so
Show me the action. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Show me the money. It's like, let me actually see it. And, And the thing is, like, those people, like, the second they take that passion and put energy behind it and it becomes action, like, it's a powder keg for awesome progress, growth, change, whatever. But it's just like the action. The people have so much problem with the action. And it's like, you have to understand that your mind isn't always going to want it, especially if it's going to produce change, because your mind wants comfort and predictability. So it's like, if you can separate yourself from this autopilot operating system, man, you unlock your business. You unlock your ability to enjoy yourself. You unlock it's just like it's just like, it gets me going, man, because it's like, you can build anything you want to build with your life.
Yeah.
With that concept.
Yeah. So when you're helping your clients and coaching them through, this whole never ending process.
Yeah.
What kind of like daily, like what tangible things can you give our listeners? Like what daily thing you have them do? What's the basics or the fundamentals that you have them start with?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So as with all good coaches, right? I everything I prescribe them is stuff I do. So getting on the topic of kind of, almost brain hacking, right? Like using your brain to your advantage and being aware of what it actually is designed to do and making sure you're aware of that. I make sure that every single one of my clients starts their day not in survival mode. Meaning, I used to do this when I was working at the gym. I would hit the snooze until the last possible minute, and then rush out the door and make my breakfast, and I would forget my lunch, and I would sit in traffic, and I'd freak out. And when you're in that responsive, reactive survival mode, and they've done like physiological studies, the chemicals and hormones stressing or coursing through your veins are, like adrenaline and epinephrine and cortisol and all these things that literally downregulate the creative and rational part of your brain and upregulate the amygdala, which is like that primitive survival part of the brain. And so if you're creating a business, because that's when you are a business owner, you are constantly taking ideas and making them a reality, right? You are creating things that do not yet exist. And to be in that mode, you need clarity, drive, and creation. And creation just meaning like that really, really firm grasp of your vision, right? And so this is my long-winded way of saying they have a morning ritual always. So if you're like, well, I have to get up 20 minutes early, I'm like, what does that 20 minutes do for the rest of your day? If that 20 minutes gives you 2 hours of passionate, inspiring action, are you telling me it's not like, that's a great, talk about ROI, right? 20 minutes for 2 hours, right? So, but yeah, so basically I have them create space in the morning so that A, they're not starting on that survival mode, but B, they're actually starting the day on their terms in alignment with what their vision is. So every single day I have them, right off the bat, gratitude journaling. So simple. Google it. The studies back it up, but I mean, obviously, logistically, it just makes sense. Like, it's like smiling and frowning at the same time. It is impossible. It's like flexing your bicep and your tricep at the same time. It is impossible. You can either express gratitude or negativity. So I'm like, just shut off the negativity right away. Get vividly specific about what you're grateful for, right? So not saying my friends, my family, but man, the sheets in my bed felt so good on my feet last night after I had busted my ass at work all day. Or, man, so right now I'm planning a wedding and like, man, I'm so glad that we found a photographer who is in artistic alignment with what we want to capture. Like, how great we found that person. We're going to have these images. And then I have them go and actually express gratitude for something that hasn't happened yet. And there's all kinds like spiritually, but also like physiologically, there's a lot of research that supports like this just influences your actions in such a way that veers you toward that thing. But again, get vividly specific. So for me, it's like, oh man, I'm so glad I built 100K this year. No, it's like, man, I am so grateful for the feeling I got when I checked my bank statement, saw those numbers. I called my dad and told him that I broke 6 figures for the first time, and he was so proud of me. Like, feel it. So immediately I have them put themselves in this extremely positive mindset. And then every single day, 10 minutes or 10 pages, something positive, some book that is expanding you. And it could be spiritually, it could be in the business world, it could be fitness, anything that is new, right? So So that daily expanding of the mind, again, just kind of puts you in this calm learning state. It doesn't put you in this responsive stress mode. And then I also have them journal just anything that comes up through this process, right? So, when they're reading, like, oh, shoot, how I can apply that directly to my business. Look at this great idea I had, or wow, I never thought of it that way. Like, I make sure that they're in this, they're taking things in, but also producing as well. And then I encourage them to get their body moving in some way, shape, or form. If they like training or working out later in the day, like I just encourage them to do some like mobility work or some, like thoracic rotation or just something to get their body moving before they head out the door and start their day. So that habit sequence and creating that space and starting the day on their terms is something that you could start doing right now. And it will massively, massively, massively impact you. And it's a compound thing as well, though. So it's like, if you can think of it as like, okay, each day is making you 1% clearer or 1% more connected to your vision. Yeah, you do it for 4 days, you're not going to notice that big of a difference. Compound interest, you do it for 2 months and you look back, all those little 1%, that's 60%. Like it's huge. So you also have, there's a face factor in there that the consistency will pay off. And I'm a living testament to it. And again, you look at all the heavy hitters across the board, just entrepreneurially, business owners, like Serena Williams, Beyonce, Jay, LeBron James, like they all have a morning ritual. Tom Brady has a morning ritual because you need to start the day connected to your vision. That's got to be the biggest thing hitting you in the morning.
Yeah, very powerful, man. I mean, one of my mentors is James Fitzgerald from also known as OPT and from OPEX. And when I interviewed him like 3 months ago, I'm like, so what kind of habits do you have? He's like, well, he rattled off like 20 rituals he has every day.
Yeah.
Like, he has a ritual for everything, like ritual, going to bed ritual, pre-dinner ritual, coming home from work ritual. I was like, wow.
Yeah. And I remember your interview with Dan John, that guy, talk about rituals. He's like, well, I got my menu and I got this. I was like, geez, dude, I don't know if I'm there yet. But that's also important to note that it doesn't have to be this drastic, huge life transformation. Like, start small.
Yeah.
Start small. That's how everybody started. Start small. And like I said, that compound effect is the non-sexy secret sauce where everyone's looking for that silver bullet. It's not. It's just, there is no silver bullet. And as fitness professionals, you can relate to this, right? Like you see those infomercials. No, like the shake weight is stupid, right? Like it doesn't matter that the Bowflex incline treadmill burns 8% more calories than the regular treadmill. Like whoever bought that's not going to use it consistently enough to take advantage of it, right? So there is no silver bullet. It's consistency. So
Julian, what's your vision, man? Where do you see yourself in 2 years?
Yeah, so in 2 years, and I was actually just on the phone with my sister talking about this. So in 2 years, my clientele, who I'm working with, they're obviously in leadership positions, whether it's an entrepreneur with a significantly sized team or an executive leader at the executive level for a Fortune 500 company. And I'm working with them one-on-one, knowing that there will be some trickle-down effect, right? So the things that I'm talking to you will in some way, shape, or form communicate to your team, which will then boil off into their lives, right? But also, so I'm operating with, one-on-one clients, which is going to be, in order to give them as much value as possible, like I'm going to obviously have a very, very select list, but what I'm going to do with them is, whether I'm working with them digitally or in person, I'm also going to do culture building on site, right? So after we work together, I'm going to come and work with you one-on-one in person, and I'm going to give a presentation to your team. And then I'm going to have like a culture building protocol with, and I already got the wheels turning with this in terms of like, oh, well, like each person's going to have their wall of greatness, which is where you list all the times you've been good enough. So when that doubt seeps in, boom, it's right there. And you're going to have a why calendar where you're going to write at a fundamental level why you're doing what you're doing, right? Like I want to transform entrepreneur and business owners' lives because when they can build their vision fully, the world's going to be a better place. And I know that because I'm only going to work with people who I like their vision. I like their why. I'm not going to work with, I don't want to get too political, but I'm not going to work with people that I don't align with. And so, and it's like today, am I going to act in accordance with my why, right? So like little culture building things that will raise the entire work environment, right? So I'm going to be doing that and then, running mastermind groups. And I'm going to be taking like-minded business owners and entrepreneurs who are dealing with the same stuff. And I'm going to facilitate massive change with them. And we'll go through this entire coaching process together. And personally, I'll be living by the ocean. That is non-negotiable.
I love it. Well, I have no doubt you're going to grow your empire considerably. Where do people find you, man? Where, if people want to get a hold of you, if they want to ask you questions, or if they want to work with you, where do they?
Yeah. So right now, my current website, The Fearless LP, because someone took the Fearless Life project. I don't know what they're doing with it, but The Fearless LP is my website, and I'm currently going through a rebrand right now. So, but you can still just hit the contact button and reach out to me personally. On Instagram, I'm just Julian_Fearless Life. And yeah, direct message me, comment on anything. I'm super receptive on that. And then just like my regular personal Facebook, man, I'm totally cool with people engaging me there. It's just Julian Rosen. And it's a picture of me and my fiance, and we're in like a desert somewhere. I don't know how many Julian Rosens are out there, but yeah, man, posting the messages every day, creating content every single day. And the cool thing is, a lot of the content I create it because it's something I need to hear as well. It's something I'm reminding myself of. So I deliver it with passion and authority because I'm living all this stuff as I am delivering it to people to use.
Beautiful. Well, Julian, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. I love what you're doing. I think there's such a huge need for it. If people are really honest with themselves, where do they start?
Yeah.
And yeah, well, I know you and I will be talking a lot. And
100%, man.
Julian Rosen, thank you.
Yeah. Take care, guys. Have a good one.
Hey, fitness fans. Don't leave yet. This is Eric Malzone, your host, and I have an extremely special offer just for you. If you go to fitnessmarketingalliance.com/assessment, you can claim your complimentary digital marketing audit. Are you a modern fitness professional? Do you have some sort of online presence? Do you have a sneaking suspicion that your website is not performing optimally and therefore costing you money? Well, this is how you start to find out all of the details. Just like fitness, you need to start with an honest and objective assessment. So go to fitnessmarketingalliance.com/assessment, fill out the form, and we will have it to you within 72 hours. It will cover your overall site performance, rank from 0 to 100, how you rank for your chosen keywords, so that's search engine optimization, your website traffic history over the last 6 months, so the ebbs and flows and what worked, what didn't, your website speed, which is highly relevant for people coming to your website and then bouncing off because it's working too slow, your social media presence, competitive analysis, and much, much more. So this is just the tip of the iceberg, but this is the starting point for building your online business. So please take advantage of it. We're offering it because we feel it's deeply important to you and the industry overall. And you can claim it by going to fitnessmarketingalliance.com/assessment. Do it today. Do it right now. Don't hesitate. This offer won't last forever. So thank you for listening. Greatly appreciate it. If you ever need to reach me, hit me up, Eric at fitnessmarketingalliance.com, and I'll be talking to you very, very soon.